Have you ever wondered what it would be like to explore the hidden depths of a mysterious cave far beneath the Earth's surface? What dangers lurk in the darkness? What challenges would you face when things go wrong? In this video, we follow a group of 5 explorers who enter the vast and treacherous Fitton Cave in Arkansas, led by 2 seasoned cavers. But what begins as an exciting adventure soon takes a dramatic and unexpected turn. Deep underground, far from help, the group faces a situation that no one could have anticipated. Will they make it out unscathed, or does the cave hold a darker fate? Let's find out what happens next in this thrilling tale of cave exploration. Cave exploration, caving, or splunking, is the thrilling activity of discovering and navigating the hidden worlds beneath the Earth's surface. Caves offer a unique opportunity to explore places that have been formed over thousands or even millions of years. These underground landscapes are full of fascinating features, from towering stalagmites and dripping stalactites to sparkling mineral formations and underground rivers. Each cave has its own distinct beauty and challenges, making every exploration a new adventure. One of the most exciting parts of caving is the sense of mystery and discovery. Many caves are still relatively unexplored, and stepping into one can feel like entering a forgotten world. The quiet, dark atmosphere, combined with these stunning natural formations, creates a surreal experience. For those who love adventure, caving offers both mental and physical challenges. Navigating narrow passages, climbing steep rock walls, and working together as a team to overcome obstacles are all part of the experience. Caves are also home to a wide range of wildlife, many of which have adapted to live in the darkness. Bats, salamanders, and strange eyeless fish are just a few of the creatures you might encounter while exploring. Cave environments are delicate and fragile, so it's important to follow safety and conservation guidelines to protect both the explorers and the cave itself. Whether you are a seasoned caver or new to the adventure, cave exploration offers an unforgettable experience that connects you with the hidden wonders of the Earth. Welcome to Fitten Cave, one of the largest and most fascinating cave systems in Arkansas. Located within the Buffalo National River area, this massive cave is known for its stunning and rare formations, making it a true treasure for cave enthusiasts. Fitten Cave is not only the longest cave in Arkansas, but also the second most biologically diverse in the state. It's home to unique creatures and awe-inspiring geological features that have formed over thousands of years. Unfortunately, like all caves in the Buffalo National River area, Fitten Cave is currently closed to the public. This closure is due to a deadly fungus known as white nose syndrome, which can be devastating to bat populations. Bats are essential for the cave's ecosystem, and this disease has caused a rapid decline in their numbers. The fungus can spread easily, especially by people entering and exiting caves, so access has been restricted to protect these vital creatures. Now, despite this, the beauty of Fitten Cave's interior is well documented. The cave boasts impressive gypsum formations, including massive gypsum flowers and delicate needle-like structures that sparkle under light. Visitors in the past have also marveled at the so-called angel hair and intricate pendants that hang from the cave ceiling. Some of the most breathtaking sights include cascading flowstone waterfalls and other brilliant crystalline formations made of calcite. As you explore the cave, you'll notice how it supports a variety of life forms. The cave environment, although dark and damp, provides a habitat for unusual organisms. These creatures often have specialized adaptations that allow them to thrive in the cave's unique conditions, such as having enhanced senses and longer lifespans than their above-ground counterparts. At the cave's entrance, warm, humid air escapes, creating a noticeable breeze as you approach. A short walk from the trailhead leads to the massive entrance room, which is about the size of a football field. This grand chamber is filled with formations, some of which are no longer active, but still hold a haunting beauty. One notable formation is the missile silo, a tall column about 20 feet high that extends from the floor to the ceiling. As you move forward into the cave, you'll encounter the manhole, a small, slick opening that requires careful navigation. The manhole is known for being a spot where accidents can happen, so extra care is needed when climbing through it. Once through, you'll reach the tea room, where a small stream flows, and you might even spot a salamander or two. One of the most remarkable sections is the Outroom, a large space unevenly filled with rock breakdown, making it a challenge to find the exit. After climbing up a steep slope of rocks, you'll reach the Roundhouse Room, a truly gigantic chamber that marks one of the cave's most impressive sights. Fitton Cave is a hidden wonder beneath Arkansas's landscape, filled with natural beauty and biological diversity. Though currently off-limits, its history and magnificent formations continue to inspire awe and curiosity for adventurers and cave enthusiasts alike. On November 23rd, 1984, a group of 5 eager cavers set out to explore the depths of Fitton Cave in Arkansas. Leading the group were Mark and Charlotte Stock, 2 highly experienced cavers known for their expertise in navigating challenging cave systems. Both had spent years exploring various caves across the country, making them the perfect leaders for this adventure. The other 3 members of the group had varying levels of caving experience, ranging from several years to almost no experience at all. This mixture of seasoned adventurers and newcomers set the stage for a journey that would push their limits both physically and mentally. The group's destination was the Tenori Room, a famous chamber within Fitten Cave known for its impressive formations and the surrounding walking passages. Everyone in the group was excited, especially the less experienced cavers, who saw this as a chance to gain valuable experience. Mark and Charlotte had carefully planned the trip, making sure that everyone had the right equipment and also understood the challenges they might face. The preparation included safety gear, food, water, headlamps, and extra batteries, ensuring that they were ready for any situation. From the moment they entered the cave, the atmosphere was filled with excitement. The less experienced cavers were buzzing with anticipation, excited to see what lay ahead. The idea of going deep into a cave system, navigating through narrow passages, and exploring vast underground chambers filled them with a sense of adventure. The more experienced members, like Mark and Charlotte, were equally excited, though they had a calm, focused demeanor that comes with years of caving experience. Before they began the exploration, the group took some time to go over the plan. Mark and Charlotte made sure that everyone knew the route they would be taking and emphasized the importance of staying together. They also discussed safety procedures, including what to do in case of an injury or an emergency. This level of preparation was crucial, as caves can be unpredictable, with slippery surfaces, tight spaces, and unseen hazards lurking around every corner. The journey started off smoothly, and the group moved through the initial passages without much trouble. The cave was dark and humid, with the occasional sound of water dripping echoing through the chambers. As they ventured deeper into Fitten Cave, the passages became more challenging, requiring the group to climb over rocks and navigate narrow gaps. The excitement among the group members continued to grow, especially for the newcomers who were experiencing the thrill of caving for the first time. After several hours of exploring, some of the less experienced cavers began to tire. Although the adventure was exciting, the physical demands of climbing and maneuvering through the cave were starting to take a toll. Mark and Charlotte, ever the careful leaders, decided that it was time to start heading back to the entrance. They wanted to ensure that everyone made it out safely and without overexerting themselves. In an effort to build the confidence of the less experienced members, Mark and Charlotte allowed them to take the lead during the journey back. This decision gave the newcomers a sense of responsibility and an opportunity to practice their navigation skills. During one of their rest stops, the group engaged in a conversation about cave rescues. The experienced members, Mark and Charlotte, explained how difficult and dangerous rescues can be in deep and complex cave systems. They even touched upon the grim topic of flat rocking, an extreme and controversial idea where, in some particularly challenging cases, it might be easier to dispatch an injured person than to attempt a near impossible rescue. Just 10 minutes after this conversation, the unexpected happened. Steve Tkach, a 30-year-old member of the group, was climbing a steep flowstone slope when he suddenly slipped. The wet, slick surface of the slope caused him to lose his footing, and before he knew it, he was sliding down at a dangerous speed. As he tumbled, his ankle twisted, and he was caught on a rock projection, bringing his fall to an abrupt and painful stop. The The group rushed to Steve's side, worried about the seriousness of his injury. Steve insisted that he was okay, but it was clear from his expression and the way that he was holding his ankle that something was seriously wrong. Despite his obvious pain, Steve tried to stand up and continue on his own, refusing help from his fellow cavers. This reaction wasn't uncommon. There is a tendency for injured people to deny the seriousness of their injuries, perhaps out of fear or shock. Steve, determined not to slow the group down, was adamant that he could make it out on his own. Mark and Charlotte, knowing how dangerous this situation could become, told the group to stop and reassess. They knew that Steve's injury, if left untreated, could worsen. They also understood the risks of navigating the rest of the cave with an injured ankle. The group discussed their options. Despite Steve's insistence that he could continue, it was clear that some sort of support was needed. They quickly improvised a solution by tying a strap from a cave pack around his ankle to give it some stability. Steve, though still in pain, agreed to this temporary fix and was allowed to continue moving under his own power, albeit slowly. The journey back to the entrance became far more challenging with Steve's injury. What had been a fun and exciting adventure now turned into a tense and cautious retreat. The rest of the group had to stay close to Steve, helping him over obstacles and making sure that he didn't put too much weight on his injured ankle. The pace was slow, but they were making progress. As the hours passed, the situation became more serious. Steve's pain was increasing, and the makeshift strap was no longer providing enough support. Mark and Charlotte realized that they needed to step up their efforts to get him out as quickly and safely as possible. They decided to split the group, with Mark leading the others to go ahead and alert rescuers, while Charlotte stayed with Steve to ensure that he didn't aggravate his injury further. The cave environment, with its tight spaces and uneven terrain, made the rescue effort all the more difficult. Moving Steve through some of the narrower sections was slow and required careful planning. However, the group's teamwork and Mark and Charlotte's leadership made a difference. They worked together to support Steve, and after what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the entrance of the cave. Once outside, they were able to call for medical help. Steve was taken to a nearby hospital where it was confirmed that his ankle was severely injured. The fall had caused multiple torn ligaments, and surgery was required to set the bones and install steel pins. Steve spent the next 9 weeks in a cast recovering from the injury. Now, looking back at the incident, it was clear that Steve's initial denial of his injury could have made things worse. If the group had not insisted on stopping and supporting him, his attempt to walk on his broken ankle might have caused further damage. This situation showed the importance of not only physical preparation, but also mental readiness when it comes to cave exploration. Injuries can happen at any time, and it is important to take them seriously, no matter how small they may seem. In the end, the group's adventure in Fitton Cave turned out to be more than just an exploration of beautiful underground passages. It became a lesson in teamwork, safety, and the unpredictable nature of caving. Thanks to the quick thinking and experience of Mark and Charlotte, as well as the determination of the entire group, a potentially disastrous situation was managed, and everyone made it out of the cave safely. As we conclude this incredible cave exploration story, we are reminded of the unpredictable nature of caving and the importance of teamwork and preparation. The adventure inside Fitton Cave was thrilling and challenging. The Marble Arch cave system is one of the largest in Ireland. Since its discovery back in the 18th century, the Marble Arches have become a world-renowned show cave thanks to the beautiful limestone karst that adorns the ceilings of the cave's main chamber. But even though the cave has been well developed with plenty of safety features added over the years, the cave still remains a dangerous place for would-be explorers. In 1995, a group of 10 cavers found themselves trapped in a section known as Cradle Hole, which sparked a huge rescue operation. And since then, there have been many more rescues over the years in Ireland's Marble Arches. Grab your lamps and brace yourself as we find out who made it out of the Marble Arches, and as we mourn those that weren't lucky enough to escape the deadly tunnels deep beneath the Irish wilderness. In 1732, Reverend and Dean of Killaloe, William Henry, became the first person to publish a written history of the above-ground section of the cave in his book, A Natural History of the Parish of Killashire by Rev. William Henry, rector of it. In his book, he wrote about the spring of water where the Claddagh River exits the underground aquifer and continues its flow on the surface. He also describes 3 large sinkholes that would later lead spelunkers to discover the Marble Arches. William Henry descended into one of the sinkholes, but he only made it about 300 feet into the cave before returning back to the surface. Over 100 years later, in 1895, Lister Jameson and Edward Alfred Martel ventured over 1,000 feet into the cave using a canvas boat. During their expedition, they found the place where the Sru Krapa, Owenbreen, and Agenron rivers meet. The path took them to the Grand Gallery, and they traveled further to the cave's pool chamber. The oldest parts of the cave contain uranium minerals, which were found to be 320,000 years old. These minerals were present in the ground long before the birth of the Marble Arch caves. Later, samples of pollen near the sandy banks of cave show that the main sections date back between 35,000 and 75,000 years. The Marble Arches are the perfect place to learn about the geology of caves with their wide spectrum of formations like vadose passages, speleothems, boulder fields, and phreatic tubes. By the early 1900s, cavers started exploring the plateau and found a pit cave next to the 3 larger sinkholes on the plateau. Descending into this pothole showed a new entrance to the pool chamber. In 1908, the Yorkshire Ramblers Exploration, Mountaineering, and Caving Club conducted a test to map the underground water flow between multiple cave systems in the area. They used red dye to find that the Agenron River connected to Upper Cradle Hole, which extended the size of the Marble Arches. Following their work in the Marble Arches, the Yorkshire Ramblers Club has continued to make surveys and explore landscapes all around the world, both above and below ground. The discovery of the connection at Cradle Hole was monumental. Cradle Hole itself was a natural wonder, and it would become one of the most defining parts of the Marble Arches caves. Cradle Hole is a 492 feet by 328 feet doline that's divided into an upper and lower portion by various sumps. Lower Cradle Hole has a triple-layered series of passages that connects to the main chamber with numerous hidden passages which connect to Upper Cradle via a 524 feet long underwater passage. The Cradle Hole area is a destination for cave divers who can explore the cave's various sumps, but only skilled divers should attempt the feat since the water is cold and heavy. Rainfalls can froth the water, leading to dangerous currents and low visibility. Cradle Hole's challenging terrain and alluring experience would become the site of the first major incident in the history of the Marble Arches. Decades after the connection to Cradle Hole was discovered, in 1995, a group of 10 explorers ventured into Lower Cradle Hole. The group was part of the caving team from the Dublin Institute of Technology. The team entered the cave at 1 p.m. on Sunday, January 15th. They were trying to reach the Grand Gallery of the Marble Arch Cave when sudden rainfall filled the underground sumps. The rush of water created a strong undertow that dragged 2 members of the team underwater in a section known as a duck, a low-level tunnel. One of the cavers who noticed the missing members was part of the Irish Cave Rescue Organization, or ICRO. The ICRO is a team of volunteers that's over 100 members strong. The ICRO provide rescue services and first aid training across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the UK. The ICRO officials searched the area but couldn't locate the 2 missing cavers. The duck where the 2 explorers fell had a current that flowed into the chamber at the Marble Arches, so there was hope that they might make it through. But as time passed, it became clear that they were unable to navigate in the swirling water. Rescue divers were dispatched downstream at the Grand Gallery to swim through the ducks from the other direction, where they discovered the bodies of the 2 missing explorers. But the tragedy didn't end there. Shortly after they found the 2 college spelunkers, another member was reported missing. The team frantically spread out to search through all available ducts and flooded passageways, but they were unable to locate the 3rd person. In response, the ICRO called in backup, and the RUC Mountain Rescue Team was also dispatched. To aid in the search, the Royal Air Force scrambled a helicopter to search the sinkholes and other exits. The storm continued to worsen, and the search was called off for the night. After the flooding subsided, they found the body of the 3rd caver almost 100 feet downstream from the ducks they were searching in. The Cradle Hole tragedy claimed the lives of 21-year-old Conleth Cormacan, 20-year-old Philip Marshall, and 22-year-old Brian Patrick Kennedy. The entrance to the ducks where the men perished have since been grated shut, and a memorial plaque was placed in their honor. The 1995 Cradle Hole incident may have been the most famous attempted rescue operation in the history of the Marble Arches, but the cave and its surrounding system continues to be the site of rescues over the years. In 2009, a Polish caver and resident of Ireland was exploring in the Polprulish Cave near the popular entrance to the Marble Arches. He was 250 feet below the surface when he found himself trapped in the cave's cold, dark catacombs after a tunnel partially collapsed. Thankfully, his two caving partners were free to call for help. The ICRO and the police service of Northern Ireland were dispatched with drills to free him. The drills weren't getting the job done, so they brought in explosives to blast apart the wreckage. It took the team 20 hours, but they reached the Polish caver, who was rattled but unharmed. On a Friday evening in December of 2014, two men were visiting the Marble Arches when they wandered off the beaten path. They climbed up to the rocky cliffs above the visitor site when they went missing. The Northern Ireland Ambulance Service and the Northwest Mountain Rescue were dispatched alongside traditional rescue crews. News outlets sounded the alarm of the missing men, and above ground, a raging blizzard disrupted the rescue effort. Eventually, emergency personnel made miraculous contact with the men after they called for help on their cell phones. Normally, caves are insulated by hundreds of feet of solid stone that make them impenetrable to cell phone signals. But, thanks to the development of the cave, the signals were boosted near the visitor area, which gave the men just enough reception bars to make the call. Through their communication, the rescue team was able to guide the two men back to safety, and neither of them had any injuries other than the biggest scare of their lives. 4 years later in 2018, a party of 4 went caving in the Marble Arch Natural Reserve on Easter weekend. The team split into groups of 2 and went out to explore different areas. They agreed to meet back at their camp at nightfall, but only one pair showed up. After waiting for a few tense hours, the pair called the ICRO to their campsite at the Quilcog Mountain. The ICRO sent a 12-person team into the Marble Arches with another 10 on standby in case the search was unsuccessful. Meanwhile, the Northwest Mountain Rescue Team sent 11 people into the above-ground wilderness in search of the lost man and woman. Thankfully, the cavers were well prepared with documented plans for their routes, which helped the rescue efforts. Even with a clear starting point, it still took the team 7 grueling hours in the dead of night to track down the missing cavers. The rescue team finally made contact with the pair in the Cascades Rising Cave and guided them to the surface. The two were cold and wet, but they were happy to be saved. The Marble Arches underwent development in the late 1900s to turn the main cave into a tourist destination. Concrete walkways were installed, lighting systems were added, guardrails were placed, and stairs and metal tunnels were created to make the cave safer for visitors. There's even a unique dining experience for adventurous foodies. All known entrances to the cave have since been sealed with gates to prevent unauthorized access and to help prevent accidents. The more exotic and untouched portions of the cave remain open to brave explorers and researchers, but only upon permission from the cave management team. The management team at the Marble Arches occasionally hosts emergency planning exercises to help cavers, employees, researchers, and interested people who want to learn crucial survival tips during underground emergencies. In 2018, 10 organizations took part in the exercise, including the Irish Cave Rescue Organization, fire rescue teams, and even the Coast Guard. Since rescue operations often involve multiple agencies, routine exercises like these help the different organizations work better together to avoid bureaucratic snags and communication errors during critical life-saving windows. The Marble Arches are one of the best caving tourist attractions in Ireland. The cave's gorgeous structures and intricate tunnels attract novices and veterans from all across the world. But even though it's got well-developed sections with tons of safety features, the cave still remains dangerous for those who wander off in the twisting, slippery caverns deep below ground. Would you travel to see the Marble Arches or brave the icy waters at Cradle Hole? Let us know in the comments section, and hit that like and subscribe button because you don't want to miss the next cave rescue story.